Hey, friends, welcome back to the Big Talk podcast. I'm your host, Tricia Brouk, founder of the Big Talk Academy, award-winning director, producer, and author. And this is episode 620. In this episode, I am talking with an amazing influential voice, Jacqueline Coe. Jacqueline is a speaker, author, learning and behavior specialist, parenting expert, and the founder of Intelligent Parenting. With over 15 years of research in human behavior, psychology, and philosophy, she has developed a new parenting model designed to empower parents and reduce chaos for families. As a respected parenting coach and mentor, Jacqueline is dedicated to helping parents confidently guide their children through life's challenges, and her mission is to transform parenting from an uncertain journey into a conscious, prepared path of success for both parents and children. I'm super excited to welcome her to the show and for you to learn more about the incredible work she's doing in the world. Let's do this. Jacqueline, I am so excited to have you here as a featured guest on the Big Talk podcast. Welcome.
Thank you. I feel honored to be here, and I'm excited and nervous at the same time to be a part of this.
Oh, well, I'm hoping that your excitement will maintain and that your nerves will reduce a little bit as we continue this incredible conversation in service of our listeners.
Yeah.
Every invitation to join the Big Talk podcast, it starts with having you explore and share a little bit of your backstory. And the reason that that's so important is because we all have a backstory. There's always a reason that has led us to this moment in time. And I would love for you to take us as far back as you want and bring us into this moment in time where you and I are on this incredible podcast together.
Thank you. And yes, I was searching very deeply to understand, my journey and who I am and what's brought me to who I am today. So here we go. I've gone back. I'll try and do this quite quickly to get us to where we are today. I have to go back to when my parents were children. That's how far I've had to go back. And this is taking you back to a time when the war had just started. The Second World War. My mum was 10 and my dad was 15. And so 2 years into the war, my mother was evacuated, and she unfortunately was evacuated to a family that weren't really very kind to her, and they wanted her to, be a servant to them, really. So that was her at a very inspiring age for her, at the age of 12, to be shut down, really, I suppose, from her life, and leaving her family and her home. And with my father, 2 years into the war, he joined the Royal Air Force. And what happened for him was he obviously saw lots of things that normal human beings wouldn't see. And knowing my father, he was such a soft and gentle and kind, loving person. So whatever he saw, it wouldn't have sat very comfortably with him. So moving things forward, I just needed your audience and yourself to understand that's the foundation of where they came from. Now, coming forward into my life when I was a child, I never knew any of this that had gone on for them. And that is important for me to share that, because that is part of my story in who I am today. So what happened for me was I didn't feel any negative vibes, if you like, coming from them, from their past. Nothing was hitting me. So, and also I never felt any, I didn't have any, growing up, I didn't feel any restrictive boundaries, no rules, no limitations. I just had the freedom of outside of my life, with the life around me, was free. And I remember saying to you, when I was on the course last year, I said, um, I I don't know where I fit in, because I've not suffered like a lot of people have suffered. I've had a blissful life, a privileged life, but I wasn't able to explain it then what that meant. But now, hopefully, I can explain it succinctly. What I meant was that because of my parents protecting me from any negative projections coming from them on me, that freed me on the outside of my life and gave me the freedom and bliss and peace of mind that I needed, because I thought everything was okay. And on the inside, it was, all I wanted in life was something to do with parenting and family life. So it was so simple. How that translated as a child was, all I wanted was to be married and have children. It was as simple as that. So I could live in the freedom of playing in the virtues of being a child, just being innocent, curious, and trusting that the future would come of me getting married and having children. So that's what I meant by having a blissful life, from the inside out and the outside in. And so it's nothing to do with money. It's to do with myself, my emotions, and my well-being. That was the gift that my parents gave me. So that's the moral of that story, that they were my mentors, and that's what they gave me. They gave me my childhood. And that's where we are with there. So life moved on, and I met and married my husband, and we had 3 children. We lived in a wonderful community. Um, um, we had 3 children going to the local school, and we just were living a wonderful life. So the bliss for me continued because I had everything I wanted. So then what happened was a divorce that I didn't see coming. Boom. It's like all this bliss that I was living in was ended. He left me for another woman. He left us as a family, and our home was sold. And it was like, oh my God, my dream is over. What do I do? What do I do now? So what happened then? Oh, I just need to retrack. In that space of when I had my children, this is when I noticed that I wasn't struggling as other parents seemed to be. So this was the key for me in, what's going on here? Where other parents were struggling with getting through parenting issues, I was succeeding in getting my children through the milestones of their life with grace and ease. And this was the turning point for me in, something's different here. So after the divorce, that was then the turning point of me starting on the journey of where I am today. It was my healing time, my healing journey. And it was my son who said to me, he said, I was also a qualified life coach at the time. I was working in education. I'd been in education for 20 years. And he said to me, well, what do you love doing? I said, parenting and family life. So that was when the opportunity came to leave education. I I left and continued the coaching, but I specialized in parenting and family life. So there it is. There's the beginning of where I am today.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline, for sharing your journey and for taking us all the way back to your parents who were 10 and 15 and what they experienced and how they protected you
Yeah.
from the horrors that they experienced and the selflessness of that. That is a really a great example of being an influential voice to their child.
Yeah.
And what's amazing about that is because of that gift they gave you, you were able to then step fully into the role of parenting your children and being an influential voice for them. And although I am sorry that you divorced, because I know family is everything to you, what a gift you've been given
Yes.
by going through that, coming out onto the other side, and now being in service of others who need the support when it comes to parenting and family life, because parenting doesn't come with a guidebook. There's no
Yeah.
how to when you have kids necessarily. It's sure you can study things and you can learn things and you can become a great parent, but most parents don't do that. And so
No.
I think that you are creating a legacy of hope for people who need your help. And that's really, really incredible. Now, as an alum of the Big Talk Academy, you know how to use your voice and you know the importance of using your voice. When in your process prior to the Big Talk Academy, did you really know that your voice mattered? And when did you begin to use it?
Um, I realized my voice mattered when, oh gosh, I have to go back for that.
Please.
No, I didn't realize. No, I'll answer that later. I think you have another question for me regarding. I can answer that. But what I want to say, I agree with you that the divorce was the turning point of my life. It's like I've had three chapters of my life. It's like from bliss through pain back to bliss again, and that's me. I'm back to where I was. So that's wonderful. And it was as though the universe was saying to me, okay, enough of all this bliss now. You need to wake up. You need to understand what pain is. I was 40 and I didn't understand what pain was. I had to, so that's what made me feel whole, because that was the part that was missing for me. Because I couldn't understand why parents found parenting such a burden when it seems so easy and straightforward to me. So that's when I realized that I have a gift of parenting, but I didn't want to say anything. So this is to do with the voice. I didn't want to say anything because I thought if I said anything to help parents, they would think I was saying, you're not suffering, or I'm not suffering like you are, and I can help you. But I just feared rejection with my peers. So I didn't speak out, and I kept it quiet. But what I did do was a lot of research into parenting and family life, human behavior, psychology, universal laws, philosophy, sociology, the constructs of mental stability and emotional well-being, all in the background, because I thought, because what touched my heart was knowing that it didn't have to be that way for them, and that was my struggle, because yeah, it was just watching all these parents struggling, and I wasn't brave enough to say anything. So that's why now I'm determined to start saying something. But you helped me with that, because when I was in a group meeting with you, I said, well, I'm not like other people bringing and sharing their pain. Yes, I went through pain, but there was a reason for that for me, and I knew it and saw it and dealt with it. But you said to me, it's okay, Jacqueline. We need to hear people who have lived a different life, and that's what then gave me the strength to start putting all this together. Even though it's taken me 20 years to get to where I am with the information I have. So I have my upbringing with my parents as how they mentored me there. I have my natural gift that I give, and what that means is my natural gift for parenting is I'm not scared of parenting. It doesn't. Um, I'm not, I don't procrastinate around it. I don't fear it. It just happens easily for me. And the only reason that I could see it wasn't for the same for other parents was how I was watching all their struggles. And I wanted to try and help with that. But the challenge was how? How do I reach in? Because I don't want to teach parents how to parent. I'm here to guide parents to be the best that they can be as a choice that they want to make.
Beautiful. That's beautifully said. And it goes to your mentorship style is that you're not going to tell people exactly what to do. You're going to highlight their gifts and allow them to step fully into their capabilities as a parent. And
Yes.
that's brilliant. I want to talk a little bit about this idea that you never experienced pain until you were 40 years old. That is so remarkable to me. And I know we're talking about that experience as being a gift for you because it created pain. And the reason that I say that's a gift, and I think you will agree, is that we all have our version of suffering or pain, and that creates compassion and empathy. And unless
Yes.
you understand the literal feeling
Yes.
of someone else, not
Yes.
necessarily the same experience, but the feeling of suffering and pain, it's very hard to connect.
Yes.
And I'm sure that you connect on a much deeper level with all of the parents that you're supporting now because of that. Like when they're in pain and suffering over whatever's going on with their children, you now have this deep ability to have compassion and empathy for them.
Yes. Yes, that was the trigger. That was the gift. That was the gift of the universe, if you like. That's why I feel I've been guided through this process as my calling. Because of the parents I was born into, I was protected. Because of I don't know what, after that, until I was 40, it was as though I was in this protective bubble that I was just happy, as a child, innocent, curious, and just happy. And my world ended. That bubble popped, that protection. But the because life has a polarity. There's always positive and negative, always. So the way I have discovered to move forward without conflict in the home and the war in the world is living within love, yet feeling the pain of others. This is what will balance out polarities of life. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. And it's
So
the,
yeah,
go
we
ahead.
need to have the pain, but I don't want the polarities to be um, so far apart. So the way through is what has happened to me. It's having the love, but the pain is coming from the empathy of others.
Right.
There's the balance. It's joined.
Yes. We call that contentment in
Oh
Buddhism, right? So
wow.
we are experiencing suffering and bliss simultaneously, which is being content.
Yes.
So, and
I
that's
just
what,
didn't have a word for it.
well, you've got your beautiful words. It's the polarity of the two, and, having the joy while also understanding the deep suffering of others.
Others, yes. And there you go. There's the balance of life. But close together, the polarities are so wide at the moment and so far apart. And when I found that within myself from my journey, it's like that's again why I need to do this. From the from for the child and the parents. So it starts in the home, one family at a time. It won't happen, I won't see it in my lifetime, but this is where we begin.
Love that. And that's such a beautiful reminder for our audience and our listeners. It's where we begin.
Yes,
We
we've got
all
to
have to
begin
start.
somewhere, and it's with our children.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, I love this conversation. I could stay on for another hour with you. Let's move on to fast talk
Yeah.
so we can
Yes.
all right. What's your favorite book, Jacqueline?
Right, I'm going to look at notes here. I've broken, obviously not one book, I've broken it down to four favourite books, and I feel this represents the four cornerstones of life. So the first one is If It Hurts, It Isn't Love by Dr. Spezzano. And this is The Secrets of Successful Relationships as one corner. I know we connected, you had an email you sent out, and I just had to respond to it because If It Hurts, It Isn't Love is on a sliding scale, and that's just a part of that sliding scale. The conversation we were having was the top end of the scale. The second one is Power versus Force by Dr. Hawkins, and that's the hidden determinants of human behavior. So that's another corner. The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, which is the journey beyond yourself. So that's the inner journey. And The New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. And this is where the ego was revealed to me, which helped me realize that the ego is actually the hidden, wounded part of ourselves. It's not our enemy.
Mm.
And that the projection, the wounded part of ourself is being projected out into the world, and healing these wounds is what will dissolve these painful projections. So those are the four cornerstones.
Beautiful,
The four
beautiful, beautiful.
that can hold it.
Amazing. We're going to put all these in the show notes, everybody, so that you can grab these books. Jacqueline, who's your favorite speaker and why?
Dr. Demartini. For me, he has the universal answers to all the complexities in life. And his work helps ground me in my life.
Beautiful. How do you memorize when you're performing?
That was the most challenging thing for me because it was such a new experience. I'll quickly say once the talk is done, then I chunk it down, and then I color code it, and then I work through each color, and then I mix it all up. But those colors are the stability of the talk for me.
Beautiful. Great advice. What do you do the day before you speak in preparation?
Exactly what I've done this time today is I wake up. I always go to bed on a meditation. I wake up on a meditation. I ground myself. And then as it gets nearer to speaking, I just have a timeout. I shut the world out and I find my space. And what that means is I then am able to take that space, that bubble, with me onto the stage.
Beautiful, beautiful. And what podcast are you currently obsessed with?
Oh my goodness. I've got to read this. So it's Stephen Bartlett. I think he's going crazy in America at the moment, but um, why is because I'm absolutely fascinated by his natural curiosity. It seems as the journey of his life unfolds, to me, it's like he's exploring life's questions and finding answers through the high quality guests that he's inviting. And I am fascinated because who he is who I was, innocent and curious of life.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. Jacqueline, are you still feeling nervous or just excited?
Yeah, I'm not feeling nervous. I just love
I'm
it. I just want things to want it to go on because I just want to keep sharing my voice.
Oh, I'm so happy. Well, you'll have to come back because your voice is so powerful and this has been an amazing conversation. I'm so proud of you. Where can our listeners get in touch with you?
Well, from my coaching, I've shut that life down and I'm moving into this new life. So I haven't got a website up yet, but they can go to LinkedIn. I think hopefully that link will be there. I've got a podcast they can start listening to, Parenting from a Place of Love, Not Fear. There's 9-Step Journey in there. That's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Yeah. And also, I think I gave you a link to they can connect with me. And if any parent is curious to just have a conversation, it won't cost anything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll put all of these links in the show notes so that you can get in touch with Jacqueline. You can download all of her free opt-ins. You can listen to the podcast, and you as a parent or as a family member can really benefit from all of the insights that Jacqueline will share with you. It has been such a pleasure to have you on the podcast today. Thank you so much. If you all are listening, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell if you're watching on YouTube so you get access to the latest episodes. And we so appreciate you being a listener of the podcast. It really means a lot to us. And remember, everybody, your voice matters. Big love.